Welcome to our Conical Sphere live stream demo. It's great to sort of be sat here and to talk this through and to really kind of give a brief overview of what we're able to do. One of the things I should actually stress is that this is all done completely remotely from my house, and I've got in our virtual green room, I've got our producer who's guiding me through what we're doing, and I've also got our social media correspondent who is going to talk me through and alert me to any comments that might come up and really kind of curate the content for me. So my name's Richard, and I'm the Creative Director at Conical Sphere Media. And yeah, like I said, we're really just doing a brief overview of what live streaming means. So I'm the host of this show. So I've got a professional camera setup, I've got some professional lighting around me, and I've made some nice aesthetic so that I can appear to be a very professional and hopefully friendly, personable host to guide you through what we're about to do. Now, as part of live streaming, obviously what you want to do is you want to be able to get on guests and to talk to people as much as possible. And so what we've done is we've facilitated that by linking in with some video conferencing software. So I can talk across and I can say a very good morning to Melvin this morning. Melvin, it's great to see you on our live stream demonstration. You're in Ipswich today, aren't you? So we're down in Poole and we're able to communicate and talk to each other. A very good morning to you. Good morning, Richard.
It's lovely to see you down in Poole, and I hope the weather down there is as good as it is here in Ipswich. And it's great to be able to communicate like this in a live stream. I've never done this before. This is my first time sort of live out there in the media world, so this is quite something.
But one of the things I could highlight here, Melvin, actually, when you watch this back, because obviously you can't see exactly what's going out, there's a difference in camera quality between where I'm sat here. I should have a very professional looking feed, and obviously on the video conferencing software, whether you're using Zoom, whether you're using Microsoft Teams, whether you're using Whereby or any of the other video conferencing software that's out there, it compresses it and it relies on the guest feed. Obviously you're guesting on our demonstration this morning, Melvin, and we can have a bit of a chat and I can just about make a conversation, that's all fine. But if you're a really, really key person on our live stream, you know, maybe a company have paid you to come on, you're the spokesman for maybe a large corporation, we've got the ability then to make your feed much more professional because basically if you're linking guests in over video conferencing software, you've always got this risk that basically a residential internet line is going to provide you with this compressed and sometimes juddery or laggy video feed. We've seen it on the BBC, I saw it on at the weekend on the briefing, and that's a really key distinction to make. You kind of make a judgment on basically on how critical your guests are and who you actually need to get on board, because if you've got a critical high-risk window where you need somebody really important, that's where we would then send the specialist software and hardware and make sure we get that feed really crystal clear. We've got some various different camera angles, so I can appear as the host and Melvin's the guest, and we can have a conversation. We can bring up your title, that's a really key thing, because we can welcome and make you really feel part of a professional broadcast. Well, one of the things I could also demonstrate this morning is then the ability to kind of use some mixed media as well within the presentation, because obviously what you find with live streaming is that everything needs to be kind of backed up with visuals. So what I've got is I've got a little keynote presentation on the laptop in front of me, so I can present a little bit in front of camera and say, so now I'm going to switch and talk directly to the viewer here and say, look, we're going to talk a little bit about live streaming, and for us at Conical Sphere, this is how we kind of categorise our 3 different levels of direct interaction. And the first way of generating interaction is to use branded assets within your live stream. And this kind of gives you a backdrop really as a presenter or as an organisation, and it kind of gives you a new way of exploring your different assets that you might have within an organisation. Lots of organisations have very good video content and very professionally done video content. And that's really important because you can then reuse that content and explain your backstory and really set out the way that you present yourselves online to people and really go through that. So that's really key, and we collate assets and we put them together, so we don't expect the organisation doing the live stream in any way to kind of do that. We do all that work and bring it together. Normally in an organisation there's somebody that everybody can kind of relate to, and in Young Enterprise in Dorset that was Mel. And we helped Mel to present for Young Enterprise, So we gave her like a bit of training and the support that she needed to stand in front of the camera and present for her organisation. So it's something that we try to help as much as possible when we do this, because it's really key that the person in your organisation helps that. But I will stress that we don't expect you to provide a spokesman. Obviously, we've got a team of people at Comical Sphere, and we have a range of people that we could provide to help you to do that. So sometimes it might be that we just facilitate the presenting, and then we interview the key people and we get them to talk and present it as a story. But basically the key thing is, I think, at Conical Sphere, that we will put that transcript together for you and help you through that. So we're not expecting you to come up out of the blue with what you do. We will talk you through the way that you do that. And this is what I was talking about a bit earlier. You can see Mel on the right on this image. She had a direct link into our broadcasting software, despite the fact that she was in lockdown in her own house. And that's why when you look back at the Young Enterprise demo, her picture is much, much clearer than maybe a couple of the other judges and students that came onto the show. And that's because she wasn't using video conferencing software, she was using a direct server link into our broadcasting software that we've built and facilitated. So that image there is a direct professional broadcast link. And the great thing about obviously presenting as a host is that you can interact directly to comments. So that's really good, because it means that as people write in and react, maybe you put up a video, or maybe you put up something that you're pitching, maybe you put up a presentation, you kind of want people to kind of give you some feedback on that and to say, well, that's a great idea, what can I do about it? And that means that we can look down in the chat alongside the video and respond directly. And then finally, of course, I can talk about live event coverage, and I won't really go into that in too much detail, just to say that if you've got a real event, the whole idea of this is that you can join up your online streaming event in with that live event and really go on site then to link it in very directly. And the closer you are to the real event and the closer you are on the ground, the more synergy then you can have with what's actually happening and with what's going out there. You can tie the whole thing up together really well. However, I will point out, like I think I did at the beginning of this broadcast, that everything that we're doing today is facilitated completely remotely. Obviously, that has presented its own difficulties, but in the coming weeks, I'm sure, as lockdown eases in the UK, and fingers crossed that that goes as well as possible, that means there are a whole range of options that we can then go into, and in turn that means that we can really easily facilitate helping people by basically bringing more kit in and helping them to light it and doing the work for them. So rather than us producer talking over a video conferencing software saying, if you position that light here and there, that will look better, we can just go in and do it, and then you don't have to worry about it at all. So that concludes a little presentation about the 3 ways that we kind of use live streaming to interact with, and that's our keynote presentation. So thank you for watching that. I think really it just really concludes for me to say to Melvin, thank you again for guesting on our live stream demonstration. Thank you to Toby, our producer, and to Sam.
Thank you very much, Chris.
So really appreciated showing you that, and just to say, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. I've been Richard, your host this morning, and look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Have a great rest of the day.